Folks, Ellie Sophia here. Just wanted to chat briefly about hashtag walk away from MSM or walk away from all media. It's a new hashtag started, and I totally agree with it. I think it's time people stop turning the TV news on because it's all manipulative bullshit. It's called Mockingbird Media, and the only one who's mostly pro real news is Fox, believe it or not. They've got 3 or 4 people who are pro common sense. I would say Tucker Carlson is the biggest common senser, and he's not specifically a Trump fan. He's a common sense and he's a patriot fan. So that's who he cares about. He cares about Americans and American values and the Constitution. He's a constitutional person. As for Hannity, well, Hannity talks to the president every day. He's really in with the president, so naturally he's going to support him. But I mean, what Hannity says is truth. He doesn't lie. He doesn't spout out crap. Although he is limited by Fox News limits on what he can tell you. And the same with Laura Ingraham. They are both pro-patriots and pro-Trump. So there's nothing wrong with that. But this whole hashtag walk away from the media is something that's the most common sense thing I've heard in a long time, next to the hashtag walk away movement. So basically, it's time to realize what the Mockingbird Media has been doing to us for 6-7 decades since TV's been around. They manipulate, okay? They control your mind. Even in TV programs, they'll put things in there that will sway your mind, subconsciously. They say your first 10 minutes of watching, you become mesmerized on the TV, okay? You become droned into what you're watching. And hence where subliminal advertising came in handy. They do a lot of that kind of stuff in shows and in the news. Basically, the news is the worst ones because they think that you think they're all official and that you'll believe anything they say, which is why they're pushing the Russian bots and Russian this and Russian that. But, this whole Putin-Trump summit, they've been calling Trump a traitor and stuff. They didn't call Obama a traitor when he went over. They didn't call Hillary a traitor when she sold a third of your uranium to the Russians. They've never called any other president a traitor who went over and talked with the Russians. And I remember all of them have. So they're just all anti-Trump. And so they're pushing any agenda they can. Well, they know there's still a lot of people who are very anti-Russian from the Cold War. And that kind of sticks in people's minds. I had to do the duck roll and cover, okay? It was something we were taught in school. Because we didn't know if there was going to be nuclear bombs going off, and we had to know how to kiss our ass goodbye in the event of a nuclear bomb. Basically, that's all duck roll and cover was. Put your head between your knees and kiss your ass goodbye. They thought duck roll and cover sounded better. But, if you look at everything, Russia's been no threat to us. If they wanted to, they've had nuclear weapons all along. I mean, the U.S. and Russia have 90% of the world's nuclear weapons. I'm sure China's in there too, but 90% are owned by Russia and the States. So who's more the threat? The United States or Russia? Neither, because neither has set any bombs off. Not since the early days. I don't recall, other than testing, that any countries have been bombed with nuclear bombs. So, I mean, you really have to not buy into that so much. The Mockingbird Media was designed by DARPA, okay? Look it up. Google it. It's basically DARPA was... it's a manipulation network. They find all these different ways to control the population. And you are right now being controlled with this whole Russian bot theory and Russian. The Russians did it. If someone stubs a toe, the Russians did it. If someone's power goes out, the Russians did it. Give me a break. It's getting silly. I'm sick of hearing about Russia, right? So basically, with the Democrats in power, the United States was more of a threat to the world than anything. And And that's why you're respected now, because you have a leader who's not being a threat to the world. He wants to unite the world. And you know, the media, mostly CNN and MSNBC, are playing down everything he does. And it's like someone said, if Trump walked on water like Jesus, they would say he couldn't swim. They wouldn't acknowledge any good that he does. And it's really silly. So, no, I want you to check out everything I've told you. Basically, Hillary had most of the bots on her side, and the ones they indicted came forward, and Mueller didn't want to prosecute them. So why wouldn't he? If they were so instrumental in your election and getting Trump elected, why wouldn't they want to? Putin even said, send Mueller and his team over here to work with my people, and we'll find out who they were and what they did. But it was made known right off the bat that none of those Russian bot farms had any influence on the actual outcome of the election. The whole thing was manipulating you, us, all of us, up here to who to vote for. But that doesn't affect the outcome. It's not like they went in and messed with the machines like George Soros did. Actually, George Soros owns most of the voting machines, and yes, they're all fixed. So should they be using them this next election, the Democrats will probably get back in, because he's going to have them rigged to vote, every vote to go for his candidate. Understand something. Everything's corrupt right now, and Trump is fighting to uncorrupt it, okay? And if you don't work with them, if you're too busy buying into this Russian bot garbage and everything that CNN and the media are telling you, you're just a sheeple, okay? You have to wake up. You have to investigate things, go online, look things up. But basically, hashtag walk away from the media. They're silly. They're lying to you. They're lying to everyone. They're lying to themselves, and they know it, but they're being paid, so they don't care, okay? They get good money to lie to you. Basically, CNN's been operating at a loss for over 5 years, okay? And they're still around. Why do you think that? Because the elitists are paying them to stay open and keep losing money. I mean, the elitists use it as a write-off, so they don't care. But no, look at it this way. If the hashtag walkaway movement is so popular, and it is, I mean, there's literally, probably 500,000 people right now. My whole feed's full of hashtag walkaway videos, okay? So the Democrats are scared, so they're calling it Russian bots, hoping that, people will go, well, I better not do that then. It's not working. The people are joining daily, like tons of them, okay? So it's not working. They are not Russian bots. They are people who are fed up, okay? And I'm hoping, that'll spread here in Canada. But for right now, I want you to hashtag walk away from the media. Their foolishness. Go on to internet. Go to YouTube, or go to, not Facebook. They're still controlled. But there's more credible sites. Gab AI is another one. There's a lot of credible news that you can access easy enough just with your computer or your phone. So do it. Look it up. Research things. Don't just buy into crap, okay? The media has been lying to us for 60 plus years, okay? And they're not going to stop. They're getting worse. So hashtag walk away from the media. That's the video of the day. Big shout out to my subscribers again. Ciao.